Hi, everybody. I'd like to offer a short practice in meditation, especially around the times that we're experiencing now. We're experiencing still a pandemic and a lot of unrest, political unrest, and it's really settling in our bodies. And I'd like to do an offering of a practice that can maybe help us discharge some of the emotions that we're holding inside. I invite you to take a comfortable seat, lengthening your spine. You can see how sitting up might feel. Perhaps you're sitting on a prop. I'm sitting on a blanket and a block. And if it feels comfortable, take a moment to close your eyes or either drop your gaze to the floor. Notice your breath. See how it feels to breathe. See if the breath is coming from your belly or your upper chest. Matters not, just tune in to the breath and maybe the sound of your breath might be a calming thing to hear right now. Notice what you're sitting upon. See if it feels sturdy. See if it feels supportive to you. And then as we sit together, I invite you just to take a moment to notice your surroundings. Notice the room you're in. See and sense the room. Maybe look over a shoulder and just gaze at the space. And I invite you to do that just to sense where you are, just to feel your space. And then once again, I invite you to close your eyes if that's comfortable, or perhaps bring your gaze to the floor, or have your gaze wherever will make you feel comfortable. And just bring yourself back to your breath. As we begin to move from centering, just bringing ourselves together, I invite you to come off your mat, off what you're sitting actually, your block, your blanket, or the mat itself, and come to lie down on your mat. An invitation to lie down. And notice the weight of your bones on the mat. Notice your body weight on the mat. Notice which points of your body are touching the mat. See if it feels okay to close your eyes here. You can always leave the eyes open again. But just sense yourself lying down. We're going to do a couple of stretches on the mat. See how it feels to lift your arms up over your head onto the floor behind you, like the arms are floating like birds in the sky. And then maybe stretch the legs long by pointing the toes. And on your next breath out, let the arms float back down by your side. Let's try that again. Let's breathe in as we lift our arms up over the head onto the floor, pointing through the feet. So we feel the legs strengthen a little bit. And then exhale, let the arms drop back down by our side. We'll do that 2 more times. Maybe you want to do it on your own breath, but I'll still count it out. Inhale your arms up over your head, onto the floor behind you. Point through your feet. Exhale, arms down by your side. Inhale for the last time up on this sequence. Really stretching. You can feel that stretch in the side of your body when you do this. And then exhale, let the arms flow down. Just pause here. Notice how this feels in the body. Maybe the arms feel tingly. Maybe the lower back feels as if there was something in it holding it up. Just notice what you're feeling. Might feel sparkly, might feel electric from those few little movements and your breath moving through the body. From here, I invite you to draw your knees slowly into your chest, holding on to the knees and just gently rocking from side to side. I'm going to move to the side so perhaps you can see me better and see what I'm doing as I massage my low back. And then let's come back to center. Let's drop the feet to the mat. Let's keep the knees bent. See if it feels okay to do that. And just pause right here for a moment. And then let's just try a few twists here. A little bit of abdominal work. So lift your feet off the mat, bringing the knees right over the hips. See if that feels okay. Let's bring our hands behind the ears, lifting the torso up. And then gently twist to your left. Left elbow going right, rather. And then right elbow going left. Twist to the other side. See if it's okay to keep the torso up. We're going to twist 6 times. We've got 4 more times to go. Keep breathing here. Breath might feel strong here. especially because we're working the abs. And we'll one more time from side to side, and then lying back down, dropping feet to the floor, extending legs, extending arms. Notice. Notice how the muscle in the belly feels. Might feel like it's worked really hard. It did. Once again, notice the weight of your bones on the mat. I invite you to bring your knees back in, standing your feet on the mat. Roll over to one side. Either side is okay. And use that top hand in front of your chest to press yourself up. And I invite you to come into table now. We're going to take another little twist. We're going to thread the needle. My knees and feet are hip distance apart, as are my hands. I'm in a table position. I'm going to lift up my right arm and thread it under my left, coming to rest on my right shoulder. My left hand stays on the mat with the elbow bent. And I'm just going to rest here. I'm just going to take a little supported twist right here. And I'm breathing into this. Notice your breath. And then press into your left hand to help yourself rise up. Come back into table. Pause here. Just notice how that felt. Maybe the right side of the body feels sparkly, especially where you laying on your shoulder and the side of the head. And then inhale your left arm up and slide it under the right armpit, coming to rest on your left shoulder, right hand on the mat, and elbow in the air so it makes a 90-degree angle here on the other side now. Same thing, different side, the other side. Notice if there's a different feeling in this side. Notice if you were as flexible on this side as you might have been on the other. And then press into that right hand to bring yourself back up. Come back into table, pause right here. Just getting our breath. And see if it feels okay to take a rest, bringing your hips back toward your heels for a child pose. Bring your arms alongside your body. Let your head rest on the mat. And then lift yourself up. Take a moment to just again notice how you feel. We're going to come back into table. We're going to walk those hands a little farther because we're going to come into a downward facing dog. I'm going to tuck my toes and invite you to join me in dog pose. I'm going to bring my spine nice and long and lift my hips up to get into this mountain pose, mountain in dog. This is an upside down V. And I'm going to walk, press one heel at a time. I'm going to walk in place, press one heel at a time toward the mat to work the backs of my legs. See how that feels if you feel like doing that. Stretch those muscles in the backs of the legs. And then I'm going to walk my feet to the hands. So I invite you to come into that forward bend right here. And I will face this way in the front. So I'm just right in a forward bend here. Bring your hands to your hips. See how that feels? Because we're going to come slowly up. We've been hanging our heads, so we don't want to pop right up like a Jack or Jill in the box. And I'm going to root into my feet, and I invite us all to rise together. Good. And I'm just going to roll my shoulders. Take a moment to just stand on your 2 feet. Feel the support of the earth under you. Feel how stable that feels right now. And I invite you to join me in a few standing poses. Let's take Warrior 1 first, and we'll move in and out of Warrior 1. I'll turn sideways. I invite you to take your right foot forward, bending your front knee, leaving the back foot on the floor, that's the left foot, and allow the arms to rise if that feels okay, alongside your ears. Notice how your shoulder feels. If this is too much for the shoulders, see if you can open your arms wider. And if that doesn't feel okay, the other option is, of course, to bring your hands back down. Wow, that feels good. Hands on the hips, right here. I'm going to go back with my arms up. Take a deep breath in here. I'm pushing both feet into the earth. On the exhale, I'm going to straighten the front leg. And I'm going to rebend the knee. We're going to move in and out a little bit, as I mentioned. And then straighten the leg, that front knee. 2 more times. Bend the knee. And straighten. And 1 more time. Bend the knee. And then straighten. And then bend the knee. Let's stay here for a breath or 2. Notice. And then slowly let those arms drop down. And bring your back foot up to meet the front. Take a moment to notice the energy that is coursing through the shoulders. And the legs. My legs feel tingly. Maybe yours feel tingly too. Just allow the breath to flow through the body. And now let's take the second side. So I invite you to take your right foot back. So now your left foot is forward. And just press gently into that left foot. Bend that knee a little bit for Warrior 1 on this side. And then see how it feels to lift those arms again. And remember, the arms can be here. The arms can be wider. Or the hands can be down on the waist. Depends on how electric those shoulders feel. So decide where you want to be. I'm going to bring mine up again. They really feel electric and sparkly. My knee is bent in the front. I'm going to take a deep breath in, and on the exhale, straighten that front leg. We'll do this several times like we did on the other side. And then inhale, bend that knee. And then straighten the leg. And inhale, bend the knee. And straighten the leg. 2 more times. And inhale, bend the knee. And straighten the leg. And last time, bend the knee. And straighten the leg. And remember, the next time we come in, we hold it for a few breaths. And then bend that knee, warrior 1. Let's breathe into this. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. And let's take 1 more breath. And I'm going to drop my arms down, hands on my hips this time, right on the waist here. And from here, I'm going to bring that back foot up. I'm going to let my arms come by my side, see if that feels comfortable, and just feel what's coursing through the body. Feel the warmth. So inside might feel really warm. Maybe your breath is quicker. See if it's comfortable to take all of that in. Nothing to do. Just notice it. I'm going to step back into my mat and face forward. We're going to take triangle pose. So right now I'm standing with both legs together. I invite you to join me in triangle. I'm going to widen my feet. So feet are wide. In fact, let's see. You can see feet wide. I think that's better. Yeah, good. And I'm going to turn my right foot out to the right. I'm going to turn my back foot in just a tad. And I invite you to lift those arms 1 more time here in triangle pose. I'm going to reach forward with my right arm on an angle. And then I'm going to let that right arm float to my shin as my left arm stays up. Root into both feet, so really feel the earth under your feet here. If you feel comfortable, you can take your eyes up to the left hand. Breathing here. You can also look at the horizon right in front of you or down at your right foot. Might feel good too. Decide where you'd like to focus your gaze in this pose. And just breathe. We'll be here for another 2 to 3 breaths to really feel the work in triangle. This is all about the legs and the energy of the legs and the stability of the legs. The legs support us. And with what's been going on, sometimes it feels like the earth was not under our legs. We might feel a little wobbly sometimes. So using the legs more and more strengthens that. So I'm going to bring my gaze now down to my foot. To come out, I'm going to let my left hand drop. I'm going to turn my right foot in to come into fan pose. My hands are on the hips. I invite you to just relax in this pose. If this feels good, you're going to come halfway down in a fold. And then let the hands slide down the legs. Notice your back. If there's anything going on in the back, be easy. And then hands to the mat, like right on the mat in front of your face. And then just see if you can let your head hang. See how that feels. Just let the head nod from side to side and then up and down. Just notice. Here in fan pose, a little opportunity to break before we do the other side of triangle. And then just maybe lift your head up halfway. Let your torso come up with the head, of course, halfway. Just maybe gaze forward. And then exhale, fold again. Let's do that again. If you'd like to join me, inhale, lift up, and exhale, fold. Let go here. This is a place that we can just let everything go here. The legs are still supporting us though, just remember that. And then inhale, halfway up please, and bring your hands to your hips so that we come up with a little bit of stability and we don't wipe out. And now slowly come all the way up. And then let's take triangle on the other side. This will really be our last standing pose. I think it will be anyway. Let's see what happens. And then turn that left foot out and the hips come back to center. So you can feel your hips come back to center. Your hands are there. You can actually feel that movement. And then let the arms rise here out shoulder height. And then reach with that left hand forward. And then bring that hand down to your left shin. Maybe the right arm goes all the way up. Mine got a little sticky right there, but I invite you to lift that right arm if that works for you. And breathe. And once again, let's think about where we'd like to take our gaze. Maybe the gaze up at the hand. That's pretty adventurous, don't you think? And then on the horizon, which is eye level, okay? And or down at the foot, whatever works. Right now, I'm going to take my gaze all the way up to the hand and see how that feels for you. And I'm just going to breathe into this. So once again, nice strong legs. This is a bit of a twist as well. Nice side body opening. Breathing here, breathing in, breathing out. And then I'm going to take my gaze down to my foot and bring my right hand down, hand on the waist, to lift myself slowly back up. And once again, bring my foot parallel. So now the feet are parallel. Hands are on the waist. I'm going to keep my hands on the waist, and we're just going to do a forward bend here in fan pose just to release the spine. And then just, again, let those hands slide down the legs if that feels okay. Hands to the mat. And then just hang over here. Let your neck go if you feel tension in the neck. Again, maybe nod your head from side to side and nod it up and down. And hands back to the hips. Press into those feet, strong legs. I invite you to rise up. And then begin to heel toe your feet together. And arms by your side. Just wait, watch, and listen. Notice what those poses did for the body. Notice the quality of your breath. And notice the thoughts that are going through your mind. Just notice. Nice. I invite you now to come down to the mat. We're going to do a forward bend. And I'm going to sit with my legs extended. I'm actually here going to sit on a blanket just so I'm not dumping into my lower back. That's my tendency, is to dump. And so this little roll in the blanket just allows my lower back to come forward a little bit, and the floor of the pelvis to move forward. And then I'll just take the soft tissue from the base of my hips and just draw it ever so gently back. See if that feels okay. And now my legs are extended, and I'm just going to make my feet work. So I'm going to draw the toes toward me and press the heels forward. And my arms are just by my side. Just notice that. And now I'm going to take this forward bend deeper. I invite you to go deeper with me if you like. Arms are going to rise up. And I'm going to fold forward. I'm going to keep my feet working as they are, pressing out through the heels and drawing toes toward me. And just notice that. So take a deep breath in here, everyone, please. And as you exhale, spider walk the fingers a little bit forward. Just creep them just a little by little here. Take another deep breath in. And on the exhale, see if the fingers creep a little more forward toward the feet. Little by little spider crawls. And just breathe here. This is still a bit of a effort pose, so we're still in willful practice, but we're moving toward surrender. So just hang in there, everyone. And then take a deep breath in, please. And on the exhale, let's slide those hands back toward the hips. Let's wait, watch, and listen the effects of this pose on our lower back and on the front body. I invite you to come off your prop if you were sitting on one. We're going to come down to our back. We're going to take just a few moments rest. I'm going to bend my knees here and let my arms come out, and I'm slowly going to roll down onto my spine. When my head comes down, I'm going to draw my knees into the chest and gently, once again, rock from side to massage my low back, especially if you're feeling any sensations there. Maybe some of what we've done is feeling sparkly. It might feel numb. You might feel a little bit of discomfort in the low back, especially if you have low back issues. So let's just rock from side to side to let the spine know we feel you. We're just going to give you a little massage from side to side. And last time, rocking. And then I'm going to bring my knees to the floor, my feet to the floor rather, and I'm slowly going to extend my legs. Now, take a moment to wait, watch and listen. Maybe the lower back is not as comfortable as you'd like, and in that case, we can put a blanket under the thighs to allow for a little more comfort in the lower back area. Hopefully that prop was able to soften the low back area. Maybe a little more of the low back is down on the mat. And once again, just notice the weight of your bones being supported by the earth. Notice the points of contact, the heels of your feet, the arms, the wrists, the elbows, the forearms, the upper arms. Notice the tops of the shoulders on the back. And notice the heaviness of the head. Just allow the head to be heavy. Maybe rock the head gently from side to side for a little more comfort in the neck, possibly. And then I invite you to bring the head back to center and just allow the head to be heavy. Just feel the heaviness of the head. Now, while I come out of Shavasana to sit, I invite the rest of you to stay another moment or two, and then we'll all sit together for a meditation. So I am sitting up, just watching. And now from here, begin to bring your awareness to your breath. Breathe into your fingers and your toes. I invite you to wiggle the toes. Rub the thumb along the other 4 digits as you begin to feel the body parts now. Once again. And then slowly draw knees into the chest. Rock very gently from side to side again. Now we'd like to reawaken the spine. And then roll over to your right side. See if that feels okay to roll to the right. Just take a pause. I invite you to pause just for a moment so that you don't pop up so very quickly. Just take your time here. Just notice what's arising as you come back. And then lying on your right side, use your left hand in front of your chest to press into the mat to help you up. And then find your way back to a comfortable seat. Now, as I mentioned earlier, we're going to take a brief meditation together. Maybe lying back down will feel better. You decide if you want to lie on your back or if you want to sit up. And wherever you are, I invite you to make yourself comfortable. If you're sitting up in a cross-legged position, just let your hands rest on the thighs. If you're lying down, once again, draw your attention to your low back, and maybe your knees need to be bent to lessen the impact of any uncomfortability in the low back. Decide what will be more comfortable for your body. I invite you to close your eyes, or if not, to let your gaze drop to the floor. Bring your attention to your breath. Notice if you're able to hear yourself breathe. Once again, notice what you're sitting upon. If it's just the mat, notice how the mat feels under your hips or your spine if you're lying down. If you're sitting, notice how stable your seat is. I invite you to really root down if you're sitting. Lengthen a little more so that your spine gets long, but that the front of the body gets a little more open to maybe deepen your breath. And then think about a favorite place you might like to go. Maybe a park with trees and the greenery. Maybe a beach. Maybe a backyard if you had a backyard. Maybe there are trees and grass in the backyard. Your favorite place. And as you think about that favorite place, think about how it makes you feel. Does your breath slow down, bringing a sense of peace or calmness when you think about the park or the beach or the backyard? I invite you to think about the feeling it brings up in you. Do you feel joy? Do you feel comfort? Do you feel ease? Does your breath slow down? Do you feel soft inside when you think of a favorite place, a park, a backyard, a beach, perhaps a garden? invite you to think about maybe even a word I didn't use to describe the feeling you feel. Does it bring a smile to your face when you think about any of those words? Ease, comfort, peace, calmness, effortless. This is a place where you can visit that will bring up these feelings that make you feel calm, easeful, peaceful, grounded, stable, where your breath is easeful and effortless, a place you can think about sometimes when things get tough, like they have been for the past several months. You can go to the garden, you can go to the backyard, you can go to the beach, and draw upon those feelings. As we begin to come back and resume our day, I invite you to begin to leave the park or the backyard or the beach or the garden. But maybe hold on to any one of those feelings or sensations that allow you to be peaceful, that allow you to be calm. Just think about that as we begin to transition back. And as we come back to this present moment, take the remainder of the next few moments to thank yourself for practicing and for maybe visiting a place or places that you might not have thought about visiting. I invite you to bring your hands to your heart and just honor yourself and the work that you just did today on yourself. And thank yourself for that. I thank you for joining me. Peace.